A pleasant day, sir. This is Louise. Today, I am going to present my research study in analyzing the story Hills Like White Elephants by Ernest Hemingway. So, this study is entitled Silence, Subtext, and Omission, a New Criticism and Iceberg Principle reading of Ernest Hemingway, Hills Like White Elephants. This study focuses on how minimalist narrative in the story relies on implied meaning in order to unlock or reveal the hidden conflict of the story. So, among of the approaches I chose is the formalistic approach, specifically utilizing the new criticism that demands a close reading of the text in order to interpret its deeper meaning. So basically, the study focuses on how meaning is created through omission, symbolism, and minimalist dialogue. In theoretical background of this study is primarily anchored on the principles of new criticism and Ernest Hemingway's iceberg principle as its major theoretical foundations. So this study also employs Hemingway's iceberg principle as a framework for analyzing narrative omission and implicit meaning of the text. Next, we have the objectives. So this study basically aims to analyze Ernest Hemingway's Hills Like White Elephants using new criticism and the iceberg principles. So this study seeks to answer the following questions. First is, how does Hemingway construct meaning through omission and minimalist dialogue in the story? Number two, how do symbolism, imagery, and spatial contrast contribute to the story's internal unity? And the last one is, how does the iceberg principle reinforce new critical ideas of tension, paradox, and organic structure within the text? Next is the methodology. In methodology, the literary research method used is a qualitative literary research design grounded in close reading analysis in text, which is considered one of the core methods of new criticism. In this study, the analysis is limited strictly to text itself to preserve the textual autonomy. Next is the source of the data. So the source of the data contains primary source and secondary source. For primary source, the study is from Hills Like White Elephants PDF. And secondary sources, it consists of scholarly studies and theoretical discussions related to Hemingway's writing style, dialogue structures, symbolisms, and the iceberg principle. And the last one for methodology is the data gathering procedure. So this study follows a systematic close reading procedure in analyzing the subtext. Key textual units are identified, including dialogue, exchanges, descriptive passages, and symbolic imagery. So the researchers conduct thematic coding of recurring internal patterns. In data gathering procedure, the iceberg principle is applied to identify the omitted narrative details and implied meanings hidden beneath the characters' conversations and actions. So all findings are synthesized under the framework of new criticism in order to interpret the story as an organically unified literary work whose meaning emerged through its internal structure and interconnected textual elements. Next, we have the results and discussions. So there are four tables. So each table contains different interpretations. So first table, as you can see, it is a binary oppositions and structural tensions. That includes the textual evidence, oppositional pair, functions in narrative structures, and its interpretations. In accordance with the new critical principles, meaning in Hills Like White Elephants emerged through internal tension between oppositional structure rather than external interpretation. Next, we have the table 2. So in table 2, as you can see, it includes the linguistic features, examples, functions of the examples, and its interpretations. In linguistic features, I included the euphemism, repetitions, ambiguous reference, and interruptive silence. The linguistic interpretation of Table 2, language system of Hemingway's operates through strategic omission and controlled ambiguity. Next is the symbolic interpretation of Table 3. So as you can see, the first column is the symbol and followed by description in text, structural role, and its interpretations. So as you can see here, one of the symbols is the White Hills, which we can see in the text. The description in the text is the hills across the valley were white in the sun. So we can see it on the page 1 of the paper. Next is the big curtain, followed by River Valley train station and beer glasses. So basically, the story achieves the organic unity through the interdependence of its symbolic structures. For example, the White Hills, it cannot be interpreted in isolation. There is meaning emerges only in relation to the fertile valley, the sterile side of the landscape, and the emotional dialogue surrounding them. And the last table is the iceberg interpretation, the iceberg principle, and the narrative commissions. So Hemingway's iceberg principles is fully realized through systematic narrative omissions. The text reveals only surface level dialogue, while the majority of meaning remains submerged. In overall discussions, applying the new critical theory or new criticism theory, Hills Like White Elephants functions as a closed system of meaning where every linguistics and symbolic elements contributes to internal coherence. Through the application of new criticism and Hemingway's iceberg principle, Hills Like White Elephants emerge as tightly structured literary system in which meaning is generated through internal contradiction, symbolic, and deliberate omission. In this sense, the story exemplifies the core new critical principle that meaning is not found outside the text but within the relationship that bind its internal structures. That would be all. Thank you.